Welcome back to Big Voice University. Today I'm going to be going over alignment, which is basically the posture or the stance that all singers, all vocalists should have. And the reason why alignment is very important is because when the body is aligned in a way that is more comfortable and more efficient for the muscles to work, that is when and only when you will be able to sing with your best possible voice to the greatest potential that you could possibly have. And again, this is going to be the reason why your voice goes from having problems and difficulties to just being able to freely sing. One of our main goals as vocalists is just to be able to sing freely and without tension and without our bodies conflicting from within. We want to sing out and we want to give our voice the best foundation in order to sing openly and freely and without any problems, okay? So that's gonna start by, first, I want you to wear something comfortable. I'm wearing some yoga pants. I just got done with my yoga and I have on very stretchy, comfortable clothes. So I want you to get barefoot, basically. Anything constricting your body, anything that's uncomfortable is a no-go. I personally wouldn't wear denim if I were doing this. But let's go through everything. So when we discuss or when we're preparing to align our body, the first thing we need to do is be barefoot. You gotta be barefoot when you're learning alignment because you really need to be able to feel the ground beneath you in order to really do this the right way. Later on, when you get better at it and this becomes second nature, sure, you can take off your shoes and or you can put your shoes on rather and just, be comfortable, because obviously when we perform, there are going to be times when you're wearing shoes. Most of the time you'll be wearing shoes on stage, correct? Okay. So you want to be barefoot, and what you need to do is place your feet shoulder width apart, okay? Nothing too wide and definitely not too narrow. So if your feet are on the floor, they need to be shoulder width apart, okay? So they need to be right on the floor. Your weight, the weight of your body, needs to be on the balls of your feet. That is right behind your big toe. So you want to place your weight on the balls of your feet, okay? Once you do that, I want you to take your big toe and your pinky toe and kind of just dig it into the ground beneath you, okay? And then you're going to take the heel, that little back ball of your foot, and I want you to dig that into the ground beneath you as well. And you're going to feel your weight shift in such a way, but I don't want you to worry about how different this feels. This is the best way for you to actually position your body so that you can sing better. And I promise you, you're going to see that your body works and your voice works a lot better once you learn to align your body and get in the singer stance. So now that you have your feet placed on the floor and all of your weight is on the ball of your foot behind your big toe, I want you to go up a little bit to your ankles and make sure your ankles are nice and loose. The whole goal of being in alignment is to let your body kind of just be there and succumb to gravity and not fight gravity with tension and rigidness. This is gonna knock all the tension out of your body, or at least most of the tension from out of your body. So once your knees are nice and loose, I want you to go up towards your calves. A lot of us, we have like excess tension in our calves because we actually utilize our calves to help stabilize our bodies while we're standing. So I want you to release your calf muscles and allow them to be relaxed. You don't need them to help you hold up your body weight anymore, because now the balls of your feet are supporting your body weight. So let the calf muscles go. If you need to, stretch, I highly recommend that you stretch before you sing. It's gonna just help everything flow a lot easier, and it's going to make your body way more loose and give you that edge that you need to really be relaxed, so that you can fight off nerves and you can just be even and comfortable when you sing. So we have nice and loose calves, right? Okay, good. So now I want you to work your way up, because we start from the soles of the feet to the crown of the head. So now we're at our knees. What are your knees doing? Think about that. Before I tell you what to do with your knees, what are your knees doing? Right now, my knees are slightly bent, and that's what I want you to do. I want you to bend your knees ever so slightly. Some of us voice instructors call it slightly broken knees. But however you want to imagine it or envision it, I want you to slightly bend the knees, and you're going to go into a sort of half-seated position. So if I were to stand up straight or stand up tall, I would be this tall. But when you slightly break the knees, you go into a half-seated position, okay? So we do that because we want to allow our bodies to release and not invite any tension that's going to prevent us from singing, because believe it or not, anytime you have tension in your body, it will show up in the voice. So we never want to lock the knees. The knees locked can actually invite fainting, and it happened to me in one of my performances a few years ago. So make sure you unlock the knees, and then we're going to go to one of our major muscle groups, which is the thigh muscles or your hamstrings, okay? So when you get to the thigh muscles, I really, really need you to relax and allow gravity to just weigh you down, okay? Again, you don't need the thigh muscles to hold up the body weight, because all of the weight is placed on the balls of the feet. So we want to release those muscles, and don't tighten them up. Release them and believe in the balls of your feet, because they have the ability to hold you up. Now, this part is where you're gonna really, really, really allow for your breath and your lungs to work super duper efficiently. You're gonna love this. So now what I want you to do is, as you're in this half-seated position, I want you to kind of stick your tailbone out. So if I'm standing to the side like this, you're in a half-seated position, I want you to stick your tailbone out slightly, okay? And then drop your tailbone, okay? Drop the tailbone. So first we're seated, because when we sit down, we kind of poke our butts out a little bit. Then I want you to drop it and relax, okay? Relax. Whew. Now to the midsection and the abdominal area. In order to take a nice good breath, you're gonna need all of your abdominal muscles to be loose. That includes the frontal abdomen, that includes the obliques, the side muscles, the back muscles, upper and lower back muscles. So let's go ahead and release all the tension. What that means is that your belly's gonna stick out a little bit more, but that's okay, because we're releasing tension and it's going to be great for our voices. So allow your body, allow your abdomen to just simply relax. Again, you're not using your abdomen to hold up your body. You don't need to. The tension is not necessary, and we're not bracing our core, something that I do on a regular basis. I have a habit of just sucking my stomach in, but we don't need to do that here. We need to open it up, okay? We have to open it up. Okay, now we're gonna go a little bit higher toward the breastbone, the sternum, the bone in between the chest. And what I want you to do is lift it slightly. Just lift it slightly. Remember, you're still relaxed. All the weight is on the balls of your feet, Everything is nice and loose. You could even move around a little bit if you want to, or if you feel like you need to. But I want you to lift that sternum just a little bit, okay? Now that your sternum is lifted, go ahead and lengthen the back of the neck, okay? Lengthen the back of the neck slightly. Drop the shoulders. Allow the shoulders to be nice and loose. Nice and loose. Your arms, same thing. Just like your knees, you don't want your elbows locked. You don't want your hands crossed. You don't want them tied behind your back. You don't want to stand to one side and be leaning with your hand on your back. You just stand there ever so loosely like a puppet on strings. When you're a puppet on strings, you're dangling in the air. Nothing is too straight. Nothing is squeezed and tense. Everything is nice and loose. So if I were to step up to you right now and just tap your body, you should sway. You should sway in whichever direction that I tap you in, because your body is so loose. I hope you're enjoying this so far. We're not done yet. Same thing with your fingertips. I want you to relax the fingertips, your wrists. Relax, loosen up the wrists, let it all go. And let's take a moment, and I want us to start at the bottom of our feet and just scan from the bottom to where we just stopped at the shoulders, and ask yourself if there's any tension there. And if there is, I want you to correct it and loosen up, okay? All right, so the neck, we've elongated the back of the neck. Tilt the chin downward a little bit. Okay, so the chin should never be like this, and it shouldn't be crushing your throat. It should just be slightly tilted downward. And once we do that, what happens is the crown of your head becomes the highest point of your body. And that's one of the ways to test and see if you're doing this in the mirror. That's one of the ways to test and see if, you know, your head is positioned properly. The neck. The neck, you want to place it evenly between the breastbone and your back. So not too far back, not too forward, just evenly in the middle. Sometimes we do bobblehead to loosen up, and then just kind of stop when you're comfortable and even. So we have the chin tilted downward, and the ears, you want them directly over the shoulders, like so. Again, not too far back and not too forward, just nice and even, okay? And we have the head tilted down, and then we're gonna go to, look at me moving like an NPC. I feel so comfortable whenever I'm in the singer stance. And that's why I'm here, to show you this, because without this stance, you're gonna have a harder time singing than you ever would. I know that you guys probably have heard a lot about posture when it comes to singing, and you know, you probably heard shoulders back, head high, but those are not proper singer stances, and I will tell you why they're not, okay? I will tell you why they're actually detrimental to your voice. So stay tuned, I will get to that in the end. But now that your head and your body is positioned in the singer stance, this may feel very different to you, or you may love it and it might feel comfortable. Either way, the more you practice it, the more easy and natural it feels, and it becomes second nature, and you'll know automatically when your body is not in alignment once you practice this a few times, okay? So the next thing we want to do is loosen up our eyes. You want to loosen your eyes. There is a nerve that we have in our eyes that's directed, it's connected directly to your larynx. You don't want to be hyper focused on any one thing like this, because when you hyper focus or you add too much tension to any one particular muscle, it will, again, show up in the voice as some kind of vocal problem. Whatever that may be. Some people, it could be a voice crack, depending on your anatomy and what's going on. For some, it could just be like squeezing, because if I'm doing this, most likely my shoulders are tensed up too. So that's why it's so important to relax. So we want to soften our gaze, almost like if you were on your way to sleep. Just soften your gaze, relax the eyes a lot, okay? And allow your eyes to move freely. But not this. We're not hyper focusing on any one thing. After we have the eyes soft and the gaze softened, what we want to do is we want to make sure that our jaws are relaxed as well. This is so important because we use our face to sing with, okay? And if your jaws are tense, if they're tightened, then you won't be able to open your mouth and sing freely, okay? Another thing we need to do is, you might not realize it, but you just might have tension in your nose. I want you to focus on your nose and loosen it up. Allow yourself to inhale and exhale freely, okay? Without any pulling, like pulling too hard. You just want to give into gravity and let gravity, what gravity does is it weigh things down. And I want you here to allow it to weigh your body down. Weigh it down. We're not fighting against anything. Gravity right now is your best friend. Now we're gonna go to the mouth. I want you to part your lips ever so slightly, like this. And your tongue, it should be rested at the bottom gum line where your teeth and your gums meet, okay? Just softly. The thing about our tongues is that the tongue is a really long muscle and it likes to retract. So it pulls back into the throat a lot and it actually blocks our throat. And that pulling back, that retraction that the tongue likes to do is, unfortunately, tension. So in order to loosen that up, one, we want to part the lips, but two, make sure you're doing your tongue stretches. Stretch that tongue, stick it out. We'll get into more of that in another video, but always make sure that your tongue is nice and loose, okay? Because that tongue is unfortunately the reason of a lot of throat tension. And we don't want that to prevent us from singing at our greatest potential. So loosen up that tongue and relax, okay? And once you have that tongue nice and loose and it's rested on the gum line, the bottom gum line where the teeth and the gums meet, and you part the lips, you have to do one more check. One more check. And that one check that I want you to do is to make sure your jaw is nice and loose. Now I can tell you loosen up your jaw, but how do we check to make sure our jaws are loose? Once your lips are parted, and again, it's important for your tongue to be out of the way of your chompers because this test is actually gonna cause your mouth to open and close and you want your tongue to be safe. So you're gonna take your little crabby fingers, your crab fingers, your little pinchers, and pull up, push up, I mean, not pull, push. If your jaws can move freely without any kickback, you're ready to sing. If you find yourself going like this and nothing is like, it's not closing freely, you need to stop. You need to realign, reassess, loosen up the jaws. And if you need some help with that, just take your clean hands, use the back of your hands, or you can simply do it like this. I like the back because when you flip your hands backwards, they're more in a, it's more easy to make a straight line than if you do this. You may be inclined to kind of shape your face with your hands. And although that's so pretty, That's not what we want to do. We want a straight, even mobility there. Okay, so you want to be able to just push slightly and your mouth opens and closes like that. Or at least your teeth, your jaw, your bottom jaw can move and you will be able to hear it. So that is what we want to do. So let's talk a little bit about some of, oh, and then there's one more thing before I move on. The next step is to make sure that your throat is open. How do I make sure my throat is open? Well, get your tongue out of the way by relaxing, like we talked about, and allow space in the back by opening into a nice, relaxed position in the throat so that you may breathe in and out. And that is how you align your body to be ready to sing. I know it sounds like a lot. It definitely sounds like a lot. But if you think of it from the soles of your feet to the crown of your head, then it's more easy for you to kind of connect everything in between. Just think about, you know, the bottom of your feet, and then your ankles, and then your shins, and then your thighs, and then the hips, and then the abdominal muscle. Of course, we have the tailbone in the back, and the knees. You want to open up the knees or slightly break the knees. Open up the abdominal cavity and make sure it's just relaxed. That's how you prepare that openness so that your lungs can inhale and exhale freely. And another reason why alignment is so important is because if our abs are tightened, what happens is we can't breathe in and out. Our lungs can't move. It's like they're trying to expand, but we have this tight grip. So they're not gonna open and close the way they should. And then, of course, we wanna make sure we relax the shoulders. We did the elbows, we did the loose fingertips and the wrists, positioning the neck even between the back and the chest bone, lifting the chest bone, make sure that the back of that neck is nice and tall, okay? Tilt the chin downward, you know, drop the jaw. Make sure the eyes, the mouth, the tongue, and everything is relaxed. Ears over the shoulders. Of course, the relaxed and heavy shoulders. A lot of us, we do this, and that is one of the most common reasons that people have vocal tension. Almost everyone does that, where they shrug. So we don't want to shrug. So when it comes to some of the misconceptions of the singer stance and of posture, if you will, which we just call alignment in the voice teacher world, you definitely want to not put the shoulders back. When we put the shoulders back, unfortunately, we're squeezing the back muscles, and you never want your back muscles to be hunched together like that, because when they're squeezed together or hunched together, that's going to affect your breathing, and it's going to make it harder for you to sing. And when it's harder for you to sing, you use more effort and more energy, and when you use more energy and more effort, you're using muscles that are not really necessary to be used when you're singing. So this is what causes people to overcompensate when they're singing. You ever see somebody singing and then their like muscles, their clavicles pop, and then you can see like veins in their neck and stuff? It's because they're overcompensating. They're certainly not relaxed, and it stresses the voice and it stresses the individual. And it's not a good experience. And even though it may sound good, people might say, oh, that's soulful. Oh my God, go ahead, that's good. It's not good for you, and it's not good for your voice in the long run. The things that I teach on this channel and at Big Voice University are things that are going to help you to preserve your voice over the long term and also help you as a developing artist or performer, and especially vocalist. So if you have any questions, if I left anything out, feel free to comment below and let me know some of your misconceptions or certain things that I mentioned when it comes to alignment that may have surprised you. Made you go, huh? Why do I need to do that? I love it. I love it. Let me repeat. When people ask, why do I need to do that? Because it means that you're paying attention and you only want to take in information that is valuable. And that is how you become a better vocalist, when one, you pay attention and you only use information that is valuable. If it's not valuable, take it, toss it, throw it out. Because you don't need things in your brain that is just, you know, taking up space and that is not useful to you. So again, thanks for watching this video. I hope I helped you to better understand alignment. Please drop your questions. Let me know what issues you're having with your voice and what you may want to talk about in the near future. And I'm so glad that I got a chance to make this video for you guys, and let me know how it works out. Happy singing. Have a wonderful day.